And I think of Cabin in the Woods as one that,
wow.
speaking of like rethinking the horror trope, much in the way that Scream did, Cabin in the Woods did it exceptionally well, but there's really nowhere to go from there. It's like that's the movie. My question to you is, we're late in the Halloween season for you.
We are, but we've been doing this
3
all
weeks.
month.
We're 3 weeks in for you, but most people are just getting in the Halloween mood. They maybe just got their decorations out and are starting to put stuff in their yard to creep out their neighbors. So we have a very, very short period of time before the actual celebration of Halloween. Cami, in your mind, I want you to give me 3 quintessential movies I need to watch, either leading up to Halloween or on Halloween to celebrate.
Okay.
What do you give me?
I'm not going to say on Halloween because I have very special traditions for celebrating Halloween, and usually it involves movies I have not seen. I'm not going to recommend movies I haven't seen to other people. So the things that let's see, what am I really... So the zombie movie that I feel that everyone should watch, the one zombie movie that I want everyone to watch before Halloween this year is Train to Busan. That's my zombie pick.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Foreign film. Excellent pick.
Thank you. I always think we need a little bit of fun and a little bit of whimsy. And so I'm recommending that people watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also a musical. I know you like musicals.
Apparently you out there love the musicals, so we did not know that.
Okay, so Nightmare Before Christmas, Dawn of the Dead.
You can't do 2 zombie movies.
I'm not going to do 2 zombie movies. You know what? I'm not saying this as a reflection of it being my favorite movie. I've only seen it once. I need to watch it again. But one of the movies we discovered last year was the movie called The Barbarian. And
that's a Netflix movie.
HBO, I thought. No, you're right. It's Netflix. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was told to watch this movie.
Scary.
And
it was like so literally scary. Yeah.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Till the end. The end is a little weak, but the movie's scary.
But the movie's scary. The character development is fantastic. It's not just like a bunch of white frat boys being awesome. It is a great race and gender inclusive movie that acknowledges a lot of horror tropes and then stamps on them. And I enjoyed every moment of it. It is on my list to watch as we near Halloween this year.
We grew up in a time period where you have classic horror franchises. You have Friday the 13th. You have Nightmare on Elm Street. You have Halloween. And then they basically beat the premise to death, pun intended. And we came back with a whole new take on, you have the Scream franchise. You have like the... what is that one? Insidious.
And yes, the Insidious ones have been, they worm in on you.
Then they have the doll one that's off of that, and the Nun that's off of that.
I haven't seen Annabelle, and then they have the Nun, which we've seen part of one.
Final Destination franchise. You have
the Ring.
I saw what you did last summer. We saw, like, there are so many new kind of fresh takes. And even Wes Craven coming back and rebooting Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, there's just been a lot of, like, there was a lull, but now there's been a really interesting kind of renaissance of franchise activity.
I'm not Catholic. I'm not even religious, but I have a huge weakness for Catholic horror. Like, that's a whole genre that I don't think gets enough credit. We recognize The Exorcist, right?
The scariest horror movie I ever saw, just to go off on a tangent, I decided when I was like 11 that The Exorcist couldn't really be that scary. And so my mom was away working on something, I decided to watch The Exorcist, and literally, I don't know that I've ever, I don't know that I've ever watched it again. It scared me so bad.
Oh my God! So we're watching The Exorcist after this?
Sure, we can do that. I may need to hide.
I'll hold your hand and give you a pillow. It's part of this whole huge genre that even like reaches out into things that were written in comic books, and like it is just such an interesting spider web of horror subgenres that I absolutely love.
Well, and we even had a tongue-in-cheek conversation about basically every David Fincher film is a horror movie in some way or another. Like Fight Club, horrific psychological. You have Benjamin Button, horrific way of living. You have The Social Network, which is the horror we're all experiencing day in and day out.
That's a little too close to home.
So,
and then you have Seven, which Seven is one of those movies with some deeply problematic actors in it.
Yeah.
That I have chosen to say, these are bad people. They did bad things.
Yep.
I attached myself emotionally to that movie so significantly the first time I saw it. It is one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
This throws back to a great conversation we had with our friend Allie, who we'll be seeing more from soon, about really having to recognize that was gross. But it exists as a huge part of the world for many people. And we can say, hey, you're gross, but this is okay. This is good.
Yep. Also,
we just don't want to give you our money.
Also, Cami has a real thing for Lethal Weapon, so it's no surprise that she loves Seven, because it's like the young angry cop with the older black partner.
It is.
Who's getting ready to retire. Like,
I
it's
like
the
the
same
young
exact
angry
premise.
cop who's got like everything. I need to do this. I need to do this. Hurry, hurry, hurry! And then like the old patient dude that's like, I'm too old for shit.
Yeah. So also, he was like 40 in that.
Oh, Danny Glover. Yes, Danny Glover
getting
was
ready to retire.
Younger
Was in
than
his
me.
Was in his 40s.
Yeah, he was younger than I am
too
now.
old for this shit. Yeah,
I'm too old for this shit, Rick.
Yep, I know. Aren't we all? So,
I want to talk about the little Fincher side thing that we've done. Fincher's movies are horror. We watched yesterday at the movie Sisu. Is that how you pronounce it? Sisu?
I think so. You're Finnish, don't
I am Finnish, but I don't speak Finnish. So Sisu is a Finnish war movie about
I love what
the end of
Sisu
World War II.
means too.
Like, and I can't even properly define what Sisu means for you. Rick, you want to give it a shot?
It basically means, like, again, there's no direct definition, but it's basically like white knuckle fortitude to get something done. It's like you're unstoppable in your desire to accomplish.
It is determination compounded
on steroids. So So
we watched this movie. We've been waiting to watch it for a while. I enjoy war movies. I enjoy horror movies. I enjoy Finnish stuff. I enjoy watching Nazis.
Scandinavian.
I enjoy Scandinavian stuff. It's true. And I enjoy watching Nazis get what's coming to them, because I don't like Nazis. They're pretty awful. And by pretty awful, I mean Nazis are.
Even Illinois Nazis.
Especially Illinois Nazis. But I love a reference to the Blues Brothers. So Sisu, we're watching it, and I'm like, okay, let's watch not a horror movie. We can watch something else. So I let Rick pick a movie that's not a horror movie, and we're watching, and I hope by this moment in this, if you don't like to talk about horror, you shouldn't be listening to this right now. So we're watching this movie, and it's kind of starting off, and I'm like, it's really good. They're doing a great job.
This movie is a Tarantino movie from Finland. It
feels like a Tarantino movie that wasn't made by Tarantino.
Yeah.
So he's just he's trying to be patient with these people, but they are messing with him, and they are going to steal his livelihood and probably kill him. And at some point he just pulls a knife out and shoves it through the guy's head. And all you see is it just goes in one side and then sticks out the other, and it was the movie won me at that moment. I could not look away. It was an amazing movie.
Pretty short too.
Pretty short, not a lot of dialogue, which I love. So the visuals really spoke for it. A lot of women empowerment in it as well.
Strong women characters. Yeah.
So if you like a horror war movie, and any war movie done properly has got to be a horror.
Yeah.
Check out Sisu.
Yep. That one. What was it available on?
It was available for free if you have Amazon Prime.
Ah, okay. Got it. Yeah. Yep.
What franchises did you watch when you were a kid?
So that was right in my preteen, tween, teen years. So, with us, we would watch all the Jason movies, but Freddy Krueger was really the more popular character that we watched. It didn't really get into Halloween that much. They hadn't really blown out the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I saw my first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie yesterday.
I'm trying to think. And then, of course, there was like the Predator, Alien. Alien's kind of a horror movie, but
it's a space horror movie for sure.
Yeah, so there was that. Oh, that was another zombie movie that we forgot.
The space zombie movie. What was it called? Oh,
we did The Last Days on Mars with.
I loved that
with Liv Schreiber.
Yes,
that was really good.
That's going on the list for future yearly watching. That was a great movie.
Yeah. So, but back to the franchise stuff, Freddy, we would watch. So given our druthers, we would walk into, what was it called? We didn't have a Blockbuster, but we had a video store, and we would pretty consistently every weekend rent at least one Nightmare on Elm Street film. But we would do, and this was any time of year, we're just like, let's watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Let's watch a horror movie.
It'll be scary. And no. So Freddy and Jason, not really Mike Myers.
So here's the thing. When I hear Mike Myers, that's not the Mike Myers I think of.
Sorry, Michael Myers.
Thank you.
That might help. So, but yeah, more so Freddy, just because I think, and this is me getting way too academic about it, but Jason existed prior to my knowledge of him. Like, I would have come in at like the 3D, part 3, like Friday the 13th in 3D or somewhere around there. And Freddy, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, was at a point where you were ready for it. It was a contemporary movie for me. Yeah. And so that could have been part of the appeal, that because both Halloween and Friday the 13th predated me, that was part of it. And then there's the whole, like, you can kind of lump all the Stephen King movies into a franchise. Like, we would watch Christine pretty regularly. We would watch Carrie, Cujo, The Shining, obviously.
Oh, The Shining.
But I think Stephen King can be a genre, because Stephen King is fairly fairly similar, except for that one that you just made me watch, Thinner, which felt like the Adam Sandler Halloween movie. Or like a Goosebumps thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. Don't watch it. Please do yourself a favor and don't watch it.
I also really like the movie Needful Things, which makes me think it's probably awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice, cool.
So when I was a kid, didn't watch the Friday the 13th, didn't watch Halloween, didn't watch Nightmare on Elm Street. None of those. Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead thing.
The Evil Dead movies.
I don't even think of Evil Dead as a franchise, because it's really just 2 movies. Because Evil Dead, yes, but there are technically 6 Indiana Jones movies or whatever. Like there are? No, there are 5.
There are?
so
I agree with you that there are 3. Jury's still out on whether or not there's a 4th. I haven't seen it.
Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 are exactly the same plot. They're just one has no budget and the other has budget. So they're the same movie. It's the same exact movie, same exact plot. So like I like Evil Dead.
You like the low budget
Darkness. Like because Evil Dead low budget indie, and then Army of Darkness so over the top budget wise that it's really good. But Evil Dead 2, I'm just like I don't. It doesn't improve Evil Dead 1 to give it more budget, I guess is the way I'm saying.
No, I pretty much just watch Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Oh,
so,
Alien.
Franchise-wise.
For me, the franchise that I enjoyed as a kid was Alien. I loved Alien. There's something about, like, that's my first time where I'm watching a horror movie and there's a woman who is like a badass powerhouse, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Really, I wanted to be Sigourney Weaver when I grew up because she just went for it 100%.
Yep.
And then Predator movies I also loved because as mentioned, I do have a weakness for Danny Glover.
Yeah.
When Scream came out, that was a transformational horror movie in my timeline, in my life. Just the movie itself, and it was so the budget was there. It was well made. The videography was good. It had good editing. It had amazing actors, and it was a horror movie. And it had Matthew Lillard in it. It had Drew Barrymore in it. It was a lot. Briefly, but it doesn't matter. I love Drew Barrymore. Well, I don't really know what she's doing right now. Like
she's doing that talk show, and she got in trouble because she was trying to make people work during the strike.
That's not okay, Drew.
No.
But I mean, I grew up with Drew Barrymore, E.T.
Yep.
And so
that's
watching
kind
her
of a horror movie.
It is. I thought it was a horror movie. My parents thought they were taking me to see this cute little alien movie, and I was like,
oh. What? And Drew Barrymore, that makes me think of, what about movies that are one and done, that are horror movies that you feel that people have to see? This one wasn't one and done because they wound up doing another one, but we just rewatched Donnie Darko again.
They did another. They did do another Donnie Darko.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But that's one of those where it's like singularly good, and I think of Cabin in the Woods as one that.
Wow.
Speaking of like rethinking the horror trope, much in the way that Scream did, Cabin in the Woods did it exceptionally well, but there's really nowhere to go from there. It's like that's the movie. I
really like a one and done single encapsulated movie or a mini series. I think we sequelize too much. I think we need to normalize that sometimes there's one good story in a plot and we don't need to make 10 of them. I understand why people do that. I understand the financial impetus. You've already built something, and so it's easier to work off of a platform that's already built. But Donnie Darko, I'm going to pretend that there's no Donnie Darko 2. I don't really remember the movie. I don't even know if Jake is in it.
No, I think it's like a prequel. I can't remember.
So Donnie Darko is a really great example of that. And also there are other movies that I really like. And I'm thinking like more in the Catholic exorcism genre and the demon possession genre. There's a movie called Fallen that stars
Elias Koteas.
No, I remember Elias Koteas' name, but it does star Elias Koteas. And
it's Vision.
Denzel Washington.
No, Fallen. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the one with Paul Bettany. What's that one where he's like a fallen angel?
Legion.
That's the one.
Is Elias in that as well?
No, I don't know. I just remember Paul Bettany.
But Legion is another great example. Paul Bettany really shined in that movie. It's a single one-off movie. Fantastic. At least I hope it's a single one-off movie. But then Fallen is another thing. So Fallen, we've got demon possession, right? And it's...
Oh, Prophecy is another franchise.
The Prophecy, but that's a franchise, yeah. And Prophecy is a great angel Catholic horror.
Mm-hmm.
And
you also didn't you like Stigmata?
Stoltzen. I love Stigmata. Yeah. I absolutely love Stigmata.
It's like Gabriel Byrne.
It is Gabriel Byrne and Patricia Arquette. It's fantastic. Yep. I think we need to recognize that True Romance is a horror movie as well.
It is pretty horrific, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that kind of horror movie, but Stigmata, Patricia Arquette.
So we're going through a litany of horror movies. Stop. We did a whole zombie bit. Like if all you're interested in is zombie movies, we got you. We'll link it up somewhere here, there, somewhere, so you can go to that video.
I hate to think of all the editing that you're about to have to do with this. But
did you finish your list for 3 must watch? So you had Train to Busan, you had Nightmare Before Christmas, and then what was your third one?
The Barbarian.
The Barbarian. Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we wrap this up?
No, I just wanted people to have stuff to watch, and you're the one with the huge library of movies for people to watch. So I just wanted some mildly interesting movies.
I love horror. It's good. And I would love to know what you guys are watching.
Yeah, let us know what we need to add to our list of things to watch, because if you're not following Cami on the Instagram.
If you're following me on Instagram, you can see the horror movie that we picked for each day in my stories. I will share the whole list once I'm done. That being said, my sharing that we watched a movie in my stories is not a recommendation to watch said movie, because some of the movies are so bad that I turn them off.
Sometimes we're test driving new movies.
Yeah.
It's
you gotta watch a lot of bad movies before you find some good ones.
Right. And we did. We found a couple that were like there was one that we watched last night.
Hellhole?
Hellhole. That was like, yeah, but like for the first 2/3 of it, you're like, where is this going?
Yeah, the first beginning of it, I was
the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't turn this off.
Yeah. I got to talk about Hellhole this morning. I went and had coffee with a friend, and I was like, I watched a Polish horror movie last night, and she had seen that and wanted to know all about it, and I was very happy. You ever want to make me happy? Ask me about a creepy Polish horror movie I just saw.
Cool. So that's it. Polish horror hour is now over. We gave you some movies. Happy Halloween and stuff. Hope you enjoyed the season. And we have guests scheduled coming up again soon. And apparently one of our senior correspondents is very motivated to create content. One of our senior
correspondents understood the assignment.
So, we just put it out there. And if you want to take advantage of it and make something happen as a senior correspondent, we have the platform for you to correspond seniorly. So,
yeah,
I think that's it for this time around with the mildly interesting people. Enjoy your Halloween season. May all of your trick-or-treaters be nice and polite.
If you don't want to have trick-or-treaters, turn off your front porch light. If you do want to have trick-or-treaters, make sure you stuff that doesn't have gluten or nuts in it.
And fun fact.
In addition, too, because a lot of kids can't have those things.
Yes, and fun fact, if you happen to have those smart lights, most of them have a weird flicker setting where you can make the house look creepy. So there you go.
I have to say, though Rick is not a fan of Halloween, he is a fan of making sure that all the lighting and the creepy noises get set up for me. So good times.
We make sure the lights and the Alexa devices are playing creepy shit. So
excited.
Cool. All right.
Bye.
Well, thanks all. Good to see you again.
I'm gonna go watch a horror movie.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go watch a horror movie.